The Limpopo border post is currently closed due to violent protests taking place on the Mozambican side. Reports indicate that trucks were set on fire at Rosano Gracia. In fact, the commissioner of the Border Management Authority has chosen to close the border for safety reasons. I beg your pardon. Travelers are being advised to avoid that border until further notice because of ongoing protests regarding those results from Mozambique. Watching the situation for us is SABC News reporter Tumelo Machoko, who joins us on no man's land. And Tumelo, if there was any sign of that violence, it's that burned car behind you there.
Well, indeed, Ayanda, we are right now on no man's land. Just where we are facing, that's Rosana Kashia, that's at the border of Mozambique. And these are the cars that have been charred and also been burned by protesting members there in Mozambique. Protesting residents of Mozambique have burned these trucks, and some of these trucks were burned yesterday. That's when the Border Management Authority decided to close this border because they did not want the protest to start spilling into South Africa. You can imagine this was so close to South African borders. That's why the authorities this side decided that they had to close this border. Even here in the South African side of the border is already closed. There's a high police presence here at the border. We understand that the army has also been deployed to come and assist with what's going on at this border. They are only allowing trucks that are empty from Mozambique to cross into South Africa, but only the trucks that have a South African registration number. So if the truck doesn't have a South African registration number, it's not allowed into South Africa. But also at the South African border with Mozambique, on the Lebombo side of the border, a lot of residents that want to cross into Mozambique, but some of them also wanting to come and just stamp their passport, especially those who are working in South Africa. But a lot of them, they're frustrated because most of them have slept at the border here in with Mozambique. But we understand that also authorities, border authorities that work here at the border of Rosana Kashia from Mozambique, they've also fled into South Africa last night. They slept in the South African side of the border. They were given accommodation by the Border Management Authority to actually sleep in our border. So that's where they slept last night. That's where they slept last night. But also a lot of people are frustrated. You can imagine a lot of people, because this border is very, very close to residents of Rosaya Kashia residential area, which is not far from where we are. From where we are, I'm just going to speak to these ladies quickly, just to speak to us, Mama. Okay, now the ladies they don't want to speak. So these are some of the people that are trying to actually just to cross the border. I don't know how they managed to get to cross now. They're going to be able to cross into Mozambique, but we understand that the authorities there in that at that border post are still in South Africa. Just few of them have now arrived there back at the border to assist people, but there is no one really to assist and to help because the border, this side is already closed. In South African side is already closed, and authorities are saying that people that are planning to travel to South Africa, they should actually delay their travels. We have seen also a lot of trucks, especially trucks that are traveling between South Africa going to Mozambique, delivering goods. Those trucks are lining up about 20 kilometers from where we started counting, the distance to the border is about 20 kilometers of those trucks that are waiting. But a lot of frustrated residents are waiting on the other side of the Lebombo border post, wanting to cross to Mozambique.
And what's your sense, whilst you're there, Tumelo, of what the game plan is? I mean, is the BMA telling you that, they're just going to close this and monitor the situation? Or is there more a strict timeline around when they're expecting that traffic to start flowing through that entry point?
Well, you understand this protest actually started in Maputo, which is about 200 kilometers from where we are, which is very far. So they went about 100 kilometers. So when the protest started moving towards the border, that's when the authorities saw that, the situation here is getting very volatile, and especially with trucks and cars that have been banned so close to the South African border. So the authorities said, we cannot take any chances by letting the border be open for that. So that's why then then they had to get an assistance from the police. A lot of police are here, and also the SNDF to come in and start helping them, because now the situation was getting out of hand. But at this stage, they don't know when they're going to open the border, but they are watching development as it happens in Mozambique to actually see if then the border can be open. We have seen the Mozambican media also coming towards this area. They cannot cross towards us. We cannot speak to them because they are quite far from us. But also you can see that they're saying that the situation remains volatile in that country. So, but at this point, we don't know when this border is going to be open, but a lot of police presence here and a lot of frustrated travelers, especially those that want to go back to Mozambique to see their families or to even just visit Mozambique.
All right. In a statement, the BMA is saying they're going to give us real-time updates, and hopefully we'll be able to feed those to our viewers as soon as you get them. Tumelo Machoko, for now, thanks very much indeed. Tumelo left to us there from no man's land, really, between South Africa and Mozambique, but closer to the Limpopo border post as we continue watching the instability, it seems, taking part in much of that country.